Hi everyone, this is Mr. Londoño, and today we're going to be covering lesson 2.4, creating and solving inequalities. Our essential question for this topic is, how do you write and solve an inequality that represents a real world situation? Let's get into the vocabulary. An inequality is a statement that compares two expressions that are not strictly equal by using one of the following inequality signs. We have the symbol is on the left hand side, and we have is less than or equal to, is greater than or equal to, and it's not equal to. Now, something I do want to highlight is the ones that have or equal to, right? Or equal to are the ones that have the equal sign right underneath. So they have the greater than sign and then or equal to, so it has the line underneath. This one's less than or equal to, so it has the line underneath. So keep that in mind. Now, what is the power or what's cool about using inequality is that it gives you many, many more options when giving representing information. For instance, I might like to say that Mr. L, the money in his pocket or my pocket is $20. So you might write an inequality that says Mr. L and the money he has is equal to $20. Equal to. So there's only one number that it represents. Mr. L has $20. The amount is equal to $20. There's only one option. But what would be cool is Mr. L, the amount of money that I have is greater than $20. Wow. So what does that mean? Is greater than $20. So now you can think whether he has $21, 22, 25, 50, 100, $10,000. There's many more options that I can have, the amount of money that I can have. So that is the power of the inequality. Here, just the equal sign alone, just the equal sign alone. Here, only one option. Now I use an inequality, and now there's many, many more options available because of that inequality sign. So that's kind of the power that inequalities have. And we'll get into more how it's used in real life situations in the problems to come. So here we go. Let's get started. Let's go to the next page. All right, they're telling us to write the inequality for the situation. They didn't tell us to solve. If it said solve, we would have to solve the problem. But here, all they want us to do is translate or write the inequality. So the number H of hours worked this week plus the 20 hours you worked last week is less than 35. So I know I worked H hours this week, plus there's another keyword. So I'm using addition, 20 hours from last year. So not last year, from last week is less than. There's another key right there, is less than. Let me go back to my key. Is less than. There it is. Or this is less than or equal to. That's not it. You can say, Mr. L, I think you're wrong there. No, is less than. It's this one here. So I'm using the less than symbol. Is less than 35. There it is. That's what it is, translating to an inequality. The H hours worked this week plus the 20 hours last week is less than 35. Let's go to the next one. The product of $20 and the number S of journal subscriptions is equal to $600. So right away there, I see a keyword here, product, $20, and the number S. So I know I'm multiplying times S, which is the subscriptions, equal to $600. Now in this case, maybe it was just there to try to uh, keep you honest, making sure you know the difference between when you see is less than, is greater than, is greater than or equal to, or seeing, if you just see equal to, right? That is an equation. So we're going to leave that as an equation there. And there it is. Now, if you want to write it with the S right next to it, that is perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. All right, here we go. Miguel is buying 10 blankets for the animal shelter. You know what? Let's make this personal. Remember what I told you. Let's make it personal so it's easier to understand. So instead of Miguel, I'm going to say Mr. Hassan. Mr. Hassan's very nice, so he's going to be buying 10 blankets for the animal shelter. If shipping each blanket costs $1, $1.50, and Mr. Hassan has 75 to spend, what is the greatest amount he can spend for each blanket? All right, so I know Mr. Hassan has 10 blankets. He's going to start off with 10 blankets here. 10 blankets. If shipping each blanket cost 150, Miguel has 75 to spend. All right, so I know he has to multiply the amount of blankets to how many he's paying for. So I'm going to do maybe 10B. So 10 times the cost of the blanket plus shipping. So I know out of those 10 blankets, there's a charge of 150 per blanket. If each, remember that keyword we went over in class? If shipping each blanket, so each of the 10 blankets, remember that's multiplication, costs 150 and has 75 to spend, what is the greatest amount he can spend for each blanket? So the greatest amount. So let's see the greatest amount. So is it greater than, or equal to? So all this amount here, let's try to think this out loud. This amount here, and he has 75 to spend. What is the greatest amount he can spend for each blanket? So I'm going to say less than or equal to, right? Because everything here cannot go over the amount of money he has. Now it can equal the amount, so I have the equal sign, or it could be a little less than. It can be slightly less than or equal to. So I'm going to go with is less than or equal to. So what is the greatest amount? We can translate that to less than or equal to as well. Let's keep that in mind. All right, here we go. For this one, I'm going to use Ms. Bazawi. Okay, Ms. Bazawi's buying 12 shirts for. I'm gonna write that down so I remember. Mrs. B. Ms. Bazawi is buying 12 shirts for the drama club. She will choose a style for the blank shirts and then pay an additional charge of $275 for each shirt to have the club logo, in case maybe she wants to write the drama club or even memorial on the shirts. If Ms. Bazawi cannot spend more than $99, how much can she spend on each blank shirt? Write it down again. This is B. Cannot spend more than $99. How much can she spend on each blank shirt? Write and solve an inequality to find the possible cost of each blank shirt. And look, I wonder why this is in the notes. Well, the reason being is because the 12 shirts, not only do you have to pay for the shirt, but you also have to pay that additional charge. So we're going to use that to our advantage here. So those 12 shirts, what do you have to pay for? Well, the blank shirt. So I'm going to just put S for blank shirt. You have to pay for the shirt and then an additional, remember an additional, that keyword, 275. So the blank shirt and the additional 275, that amount has to be multiplied times the amount of shirts, which is 12. If Mrs. B cannot spend more than $99, so she cannot spend more than, so we have $99 here. So so we can spend equal to that amount, right? Because we can't spend more, so it can be equal to, but this amount here has to be less than or equal to $99 because this total amount, the amount she's going to be spending, has to be less than or equal to $99. Oh, they want us to solve. So what do we have here? We have parentheses. So we have to use distributive property. So we're going to have 12s plus, I'm going to use my helper here, 12 times 2.75, that's $33, plus 33 is less than or equal to 99. I'm going to subtract 12s is less than or equal to 66. And when I divide, s is less than or equal to, this is 5.5. So since this is money, So the amount she can spend on each shirt is $5.50 or less. So again, this is the magic. She can spend $1 on each shirt, she can spend $2, but now she knows that the most expensive shirt she can get for these options, the most expensive one can equal $5.50, or she can spend a little bit less and then save everybody in the club some money. Now for this one here, I'm going to take a pause here and I want you to try this one out. So you can pause the video here, try it out, and then you can restart it and see if you have the same answer that I do. All right, let's work this out. Sergio, oh wow, look at that, it's me. Sergio needs to buy eight gifts for eight friends or my eight coworkers. He wants to give the same gift to all his friends, and he plans to have the gifts wrapped for an additional charge of 150 each. I'm very fancy, guys. I'm very, very fancy. So I need to make sure it's wrapped up really nicely so everybody's nice and happy. If Sergio spends at least $70, he will receive free shipping on his order. So that means I'm going to want to spend at least $70 so I can get that free shipping. Write and solve an inequality to determine how much Sergio needs to spend on each gift in order to receive the free shipping. All right, let's set this up. I'm going to order for 8 people, my 8 friends, and it's going to be the gift, right? The amount of the gift. So I'm going to have to multiply the eight people times the amount of gifts, whatever the gift is cost, plus an additional 150 because I want to wrap it up really nicely. And if I want to spend at least $70, so whatever this money is here, the total, right? I'm gonna write this out like this, or you can write total. We can write the total. But it's easier when I do this and I can figure out what inequality I'm going to use here at least. So I know it is going to be either equal to the total or this right here can be more. So greater than, this is, remember the alligator eats what's more. So this can be greater than or equal to the total. And our total here, $70. And now they want us to figure out what that price is. So now we're going to solve this. We are going to distribute 8G plus 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 50 cents is 4. So $12 is greater than or equal to 70. We're going to subtract to both sides. 8G is greater than or equal to, what is that? 60.58. G is greater than 6, 7. 7 is 56. This goes in twice. 16. 4. 5 times. 725. So I need to spend $725 on each gift or more so that I can get that free shipping. So that means now I know the least I can pay is $725, but I can spend $8, $10, $20, $50, whatever. This is the magic of the inequality. It gives me options now. It's not just telling me one number, it's giving me multiple options. All right, here we go. The daily info charges a fee of $650 plus $80 per week to run an ad. That's one information. The People's paper charges $145 per week. All right. For how many weeks must an ad run for the total cost at the daily info to be less expensive than the cost of the People's paper? Let W be the number of weeks that ad runs in the paper. My goodness, the paper, the daily. No, 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 no. Let's switch this up. We're going to talk the daily info. I'm going to switch it up to Google, right? Let's make this current, people, right? This is Google right here. And who's Google going up against? I'm going to say the People's paper is Apple. Let's do this Apple. Right over here, blah, blah, blah. People's paper, this is Apple. In the paper, no, the ad runs online. Or not even, I'm going to say runs in YouTube, right? The YouTube ads. So it's either going to be Apple ads or Google ads on YouTube, all right? It's more common. This makes sense to me, probably to you a lot more. Who reads the paper here? No, we're going to make this online. Now that I can, it makes more sense to me. I'm going to benefit much more from solving this problem. So now we can figure this out. Now I'm pumped about doing this problem. Here we go. Google charges a fee of 65. So let's write down Google. And they charge 650 plus, remember that keyword there, plus $80. You remember that other keyword here, per means multiplication. Multiplication plus $80 per week. So I'm going to 80 per week, 80 week to run the ad. Now Apple, let's set up over here, Apple, they say there's a flat fee. They just say 145 per week. For how many weeks must an ad run for the total cost at Google to be less expensive than the cost at Apple? Let W be the number of weeks the ad runs on YouTube. All right. So when I write this down, 650 plus 80W, and I have 145W here, they're saying for how many weeks must an ad run for the total cost at Google to be less expensive? So they want this to be less expensive or less than Apple. So we have to figure out when that's going to be true. So now they didn't say equal to, not less than or equal amount. No, they want it to be cheaper, less expensive. So I put less than. Now I can solve this problem. Now here we cannot distribute, so we're not doing that, but we can collect like terms. So 80 minus 80, W, sorry. And this is going to give me 650. It's less than, okay, this gives me 65W. I want to get the amount of weeks, not 65 weeks, the amount of just 1 week. So divided by 65, 10. So what does this mean? That means that I need to run the ad for more than, right? Because the W is greater than the 10. We can rewrite it here, the W and the 10. And look, the alligator is eating the W. So what this is saying right here is the ad has to run for more than 10 weeks for Google to be more expensive. I mean, sorry, less expensive. That's what we were looking for, less expensive. And why is this important? Well, let's make believe that this time Miss Franco is, in charge of a certain product that she's selling, right? And they go to you and they told you which one's a cheaper deal. Now, whichever one you're able to figure out is going to save Miss Franco money, and then this way she can employ you can be her accountant or her, ad specialist, whatever you want, or her COO, right, or chief operating officer. So in this case, you tell her, Miss Franco, if you're going to run this ad for more than 10 weeks, then the Google is going to be less expensive. You're a problem solver. Good job, guys. Now, I want you to try this one on your own. Try this one on your own. Pause the video and then come back and see if we got the same thing. All right. We're back. Let's get started with this. The home cleaning company charges $312 to power wash the siding of a house, plus $12 for each window. Power clean charges $36 per window, a flat price. And the price includes power washing the siding. How many windows must a house how many windows must a house have to make the total cost from the home cleaning company less expensive than power clean? Let W be the number of windows. So the first thing I do is I set up each one. So home cleaning company, so HCC is $312. And look, it says plus $12 for each, remember that keyword here, each again, window. So I'm going to put W. Then the other company, Power Clean charges 36 per window, per, again, multiplication. So I'm going to rewrite this because I'm going to compare the two now. 312 plus 12W and 36W. And it's telling us how many windows must a house have to make the total cost from home cleaning company, the one on the left, less expensive than power clean. So again, I want this to be less than the other company. I want home cleaning company to be less than the power clean. All we have to do now is solve. We're going to combine like term or collect variables. Over here we have 24W. I'm going to use my trusty tool here. Divided by 24. And we figured out that we need to wash more than 12 windows. 12 windows to make the cost from the home cleaning company less expensive than power clean. I hope this lesson helped you out. Have a wonderful day.